Next one will be Alex Arnault from Glock Caps. Is it like the Glock Caps is
like the gun?
The gun?
I don't know. Alexis, are you there?
I am.
Hello.
Nice to
Hello,
meet
guys.
you.
Hello, guys. Yeah, nice to see you as well. I would like to thank you, Arnault, thank you, Smiley, for organizing this awesome webinar. And I would like to thank Adriana for her presentation. I think Adriana, you nailed it. Thank you. So shall I start?
Quick few words from me. So you are going to talk about unlocking inbox insight. I have used Glock apps myself for a few years, not too much, but every time there is some issue with the deliverability of some client's email, basically this is the first tool we turn to. And I always wonder, where do you get this information from, this technical data from the email inbox providers? This seems like magic to me. This is coming from an email service provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, what's funny, I'm not really funny, but what's interesting in any technology is it's all look like magic for the regular people. Something just happened and you just have no idea what's going on. Everybody talks about, but So yeah, I feel you. It's really, but it's not the magic. I will try to give some insights today.
Okay,
So,
are you ready to roll?
yeah, let's shoot from Glock app.
Yeah. Let's shoot then. Let me share the screen. Okay. I think, let me introduce myself. My name is Alex. I'm a board member and CEO of Glock Apps, and consider myself as quite shy person. So I would prefer to answer questions rather than talk about myself. All of this, my past, and all of this. So my goal today is to provide you with the roadmap of proactive things you should follow for seamless deliverability. Before I move to the actual roadmap, which I prepared for you guys, how the good email deliverability looks like, that's the question I've been asking myself for a while. And at some point, I found it quite philosophical question. That type of questions you love to discuss with your friends after a few bottles of beer. Until one day, accidentally, I found the following post on the Reddit. So what do we see here? This is a 9 years old post on Reddit. We see the annoyed and probably desperate man who says that he has been making tens of emails, as he has been marking tens of emails as spam every day for a while, with hope that he'll never get any emails like this anymore. And yet his mailbox provider system kept delivering this right into his inbox. It's funny, right? But he eventually read the email. He got curious about how it's possible, and he admitted the startup that was doing this to him. He even made some investigation and decided to post on Reddit, so I can show it to you right now. So that day, I realized that this is probably the best visible example of how good email deliverability looks like. Back then, 9 years ago, we at Glocksoft, we've been working on EasyMail 7. That was our main software. We were working actively on it, and we got a client, an ambitious startup who loved our product. He also has been a big fan of outreach campaigns. And one day he was kind of upset talking to our support representative, saying that his email marketing team trying hard to find out why their lead generation ratio keeps decreasing every week. And during this chat, he dropped a sentence, something like, "It would be cool if I could test how many recipients are getting my emails." Roger that, said our CTO, Alex Marker. And in a month, or maybe 2 months, that's the history, we actually released a very raw and small version of the Glock apps inside the EasyMail 7, specifically for him to try it out. So the previous slide, on the previous slide, we can see a result. And the fun fact, number one, their process has been based on deliverability as main KPI. So there was the focus on list segmentation was really low. They had almost zero focus on content, so it was pure and mass outreach. Fun fact number two, I've been working in the startup, and this is how my journey with Glocksoft company actually started. By the way, EasyMail 7 is still working. It keeps selling itself magically somehow. But I honestly think this is one of the best email marketing platform, even though it's outdated Windows application. Anyway, not trying to sell, just trying to say. So before I move forward, I need to add some context here. I would like to propose you to look at email like a subject that has content side and technical side. So content side is basically what we make, like text, images, whatever, and what recipient eventually see in his email box application. Technical side, it's basically what recipient email server sees. Servers definitely read and analyze as much more information than you. I would even say the server sees the whole picture about message, about you, right? So you even can download the raw message, like I'm showing on the screen, from your email application, and just for curiosity, check and see the exact difference. But yeah, there is another small message which you can't simply download and look at. However, the server gets it from the sender, it processes it, and makes a decision to pass the raw message to the next step or not. So my point is, whether your email will be delivered at all, whether it will go to the spam, or which inbox folder is going to land, being decided by the email server of your recipient, by processing and analyzing the whole message. So by analyzing the whole picture, which is technical side and content side. It's been quite a struggle for me to prepare it for this webinar, since I think most of you probably, know a lot about deliverability, considering how many content it's out there in the internet. Considering you're here, all of you, I believe, the smart people about marketing or at least knows something about communication through email. So I decided to ask our team, founders of the Glock apps, our beautiful sales and support gals, along with our partners and friends like MailStore, you see on the screen, to provide me what I call 7 laws and 7 sins of email deliverability. So, I've processed all of their replies, processed everything they wrote, and grouped it. So as a result, you can see 7 laws. I'm going to go through one by one right now, and eventually I suggest to keep it as a roadmap. Let's start with number 1. Authentication is a must. Your authentication records must be set up before you do any type of email, and this is very important for your deliverability, and just trust me. Authentication is basically a logical process of the email server to identify the sender and make sure he's legit. So in other terms, it's like identity documents. If you have them, then you're a legit citizen, right? If you don't, you basically have no rights. So, and there is a few types of different authentication processes, and the first one would be hello check. So hello authentication is what receiving server does as the first step. Basically, during this process, receiving server decides to pass the message to the next step or bounce it. If your sending server has no PTR record with your domain name inside, you're in trouble, because most likely your message won't be delivered at all. So the next authentication processes, I combine it all together, since I think it's much easier to explain how they work by explaining how DMARC works. So DMARC protocol, it's imagine you're throwing a party, a big party, I know, smiley, lights, everybody fast to cheer, I don't know. And you're sending out invitations. Your invitations will be delivered by postman, right? And you want your friends to know that the invitations are genuinely from you. So you put a special sticker on your invitation that only you have. And this is like DKIM record. You also tell your friends that you will only be sending invitation from your own house, from your own address. So this is like SPF. And DMARC is like the rules for postman, which would be like, okay, rule number 1, check the invitation you received. If it doesn't have my special sticker or wasn't sent from my house, it's not really from me. Rule number 2 could be, if you get an invitation pretending to be from me, but it doesn't have the sticker or wasn't sent from my house, just don't deliver it. But most important, and this rule applies automatically, send me a report if you got an invitation without my sticker or from different address, so I can figure out who's trying to crash the party. This is basically, what the DMARC, the KM, SPF, and how they work out together. So there is no way DMARC can work without the KM and SPF. So that's why I put them together. And as a huge bonus of you having DMARC, you can apply for BIMI record, which will, definitely impact your deliverability. But I won't stop on the BIMI, since I know there is my colleague waiting her turn to give you more insights about BIMI today. So let's move to the next step. The law number 2 would be, keep your email list clean. And specifically, for sure, avoid hard bounds at any cost. Clean bounced emails from your list is first thing ever. Number 2 would be remove inactive subscribers, and you should automate this process for sure. So what is the hard bounce? Hard bounce is it's basically an email that failed to deliver. For example, it could be an email address in your list that doesn't exist anymore. You had the subscriber on your list, and it was corporate email address, and at some point he got fired or he left the company, so they removed his email, and that's how it doesn't exist anymore. So if you keep sending this email, the most email servers will lower your sender reputation, and at some point will consider you as a spammer, which we definitely don't want to happen. Don't want to happen. Inactive subscribers in your list are those who doesn't engage with your email anyhow. But if you will keep sending to them without any results, the email server will do the same, actually, lower your sender reputation, and at some point your mail will start hard bouncing. And I think it's essential to set up an automation process of removal inactive user from your list, even before creating your contact list, to prevent hard bounces. How often should you clean your email list? That's the question. It's interesting because I see these questions quite often. So, I would answer that it's better to have process that works automatically rather than doing it manually. So, it's like visiting a dentist. Better never come back. So number 3, split email types by subdomains. Okay. Using a root domain for all type of emails you send is like putting your eggs in one basket, which is too risky. And to be honest, this is the most typical mistake, and at the same time, one of the reasons why people find lockups, by the way. Yeah, that's the good one for us. So at some point, the reporting transactional mails, such as password change, start landing in spam, which might lead, to catastrophic consequences. And for most of the emails, providers and for most the email providers, email servers, the whole the root domain, the whole domain is the key they associate with associate with the sender reputation they give you internally. So it's not the root domain, it's the whole domain. For example, Google gives an internal sender reputation score based on engagement. So it's better the engagement with your emails your recipients do, the higher your reputation for your domains. So in other words, subdomains help you to diversify your reputation to different email types. Okay, number 4, know your recipient email provider. Segmenting your email list by recipient email provider can actually be a good, useful strategy for sake of deliverability, because each email provider has different algorithms that we just figure out affect your deliverability. So you might find different strategies, to reach the inbox for different providers. So, that's why I would suggest, for example, avoid sending to BTC and B2B subscribers at the same time. So better to run 2 different campaigns and work on what is better to for email deliverability, what strategy you choose for BTC and for B2B. So because B2C and B2B subscribers usually engage differently, and usually you need you might use different sender providers, so it works well. Only number 5, it's only sent to subscribers who opt in. I love this point actually, because it probably doesn't make sense from a marketing perspective, but it really makes sense from the deliverability standpoint. Since people who willingly accept it get emails from you on a regular basis, probably will engage, and I'm sure will engage with your emails, much with better ratio. But since it's probably not a good advice from a marketing perspective, I would definitely recommend at least leave your recipient with the clear ability how to unsubscribe from you. That's definitely will help with your email deliverability. So number 6 is ensure a consistent sending schedule. This one I found also interesting, because logically you might get to the fact, you might get to the fast conclusion probably, that as oftenly I send, as faster I will lose my sender reputation. So as faster I will lose deliverability ratio, right? And as fast I will start running into the spam. So, but in fact, it's vice versa. Consistency makes good impression on the mail provider algorithm, so it improves your sender score. And I would definitely recommend to time your newsletters and other regular emails. As last, yeah, I think, I'm sure testing it's essential, especially considering when you know that almost all blacklists which email server usually works with, they're getting updated at least every 6 hours. And there is, I don't know, enough deliverability tool in internet, on the market, deliverability testing tools available, and a lot of them are free, or they have free version, just like on our website, and not using it, not using what is given, I think it's a mistake. Okay. For my last word, I would like to say that, knowledge is a source for creativity. So I hope I was able to share some knowledge with you. Now it's up to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Really interesting, really technical. So
Yeah.
when I go to meetings, sorry, can you take the sharing off so we can see you better? Thank you. So when we go to meetings with the clients, I personally have a problem of talking about those technical things. So I have to re-look at your presentation to know about those things more. And what is the most important thing of this list? What do you say? I think if I haven't ever dealt with email deliverability before, what should I do? The first thing.
First of all, I wanted to say that deliverability is, as you might see on the screen, it's like, I imagine it like a ratio, right? So it's basically like a ratio that give you an insight and kind of indicate whether your email will go to spam or not going to spam. That's kind of first step for sure.
And I already have a
sorry.
If my emails go to spam, then I already have a problem.
Yeah. So that's why it's better to think about it like, very proactively. So I would suggest somehow before you start your career in email marketing, somehow read about read about technical stuff. And I think I didn't bring anything new here. I was just trying to simplify, so it doesn't look, the technical, like you say. But to answer your question, you should start with authentication for sure. And I don't know, probably everybody read the latest news from the Google. They decided to, if you're sending more than 5,000 emails in a day, then they will simply will not allow you to do so, and will mark you will put you on their red list, as if you don't have DMARC, if you don't have SPF, if you don't have DKIM. So if you have troubles with certification, so I would definitely start with authentication. And I think it might sound hard, but there is so many free tools that will help you to set it up.
I agree. In Smiley, we also require authentication before you can send anything out, because otherwise we see everything will basically go to spam. So yeah, this is so important. Okay, but besides that, this is like basic hygiene. What I would suggest maybe cleaning your list regularly to improve deliverability.
Yeah, well, all of the 7 points I put there really, they must have. I don't know.
Okay, so
So
in this
cleaning, yeah, yeah. That's the complete roadmap basically. If you follow 7, like put the check, put them as a checklist for you. If you take care about everything, then you're good, basically. And cleaning, it's also like a notification for me. It's also must have, and it's not. And and as I said, I think it's a mistake if you do everything manually. So there is plenty tools like Smiley, for example, when you can automate this process, and that's the key. Automate it, and you'll be fine. But or at least what I was trying to say, at least make it a process, right? So if the cleaning is a clear process, then you work with the process every time to make it better. And it's also cool that you make an automation from it. So when the system sees, for example, when the system sees in your list that some subscribers are not engaging at all, then you should probably automate it so your unsubscriber go to another list, which which runs different email sequence to try to get this client back. And at some point, if it's not successful, so I would suggest just to remove it from it, and it should be automatic. You shouldn't look at it. No.
I think most of the ESPs basically do this automatically, but you mentioned Gmail. I see from our stats that about 60% of traffic goes to Gmail. So our clients have to play by their rules. If they introduce something new, for example, this authentication thing, then you have to do it to get any emails to be delivered at all. But some clients say that I don't want to use an email service provider because this automatically means that my emails will go to spam.
Or the mailbox provider detects automatically that it's coming like
coming from a third party.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that you have authenticated, that in your email header everything is technically correct. Is this an urban legend, or does it really work that way? From your inbox it is delivered, but from wherever else?
No, not at all, or not necessary. I don't know. I think it depends, but our experience, we have like thousands of tests every day on our platform, and we definitely make some analysis. And I would say there is no direct correlation between landing in spam and using your sender. Yeah, but it's true that well, I'm just trying to say that I understand why the people think so. It's kind of logical as well, right? So if this sender is being used by a lot of people, that means there might be really bad guys who send spam and then steal your keys, whatever. So that's this. So and that's why IP of the sender or IPs of the sender is probably more likely will start going to blacklists. So that's why eventually, if you send on Google won't accept it. But it's actually not quite true. Yeah, there might be, effect. But again, if you test it, you see, you could find your answer. So if you send with the smiley, for example, I don't know, or for let's get MailChimp, and you can 100% see what's going to happen if you send from the MailChimp. You can see what's going to happen on different email providers that receive your message, and I would say that's advantage of you. Yeah, so that's probably an invention rather than cons, because if MailChimp with almost 100% delivers your emails to Outlook, then I think this is your answer. So use the MailChimp for Outlook only providers, Outlook only recipients, and that's your advantage. So I think that's my answer. I was trying to.
But when talking about Gmail, how do you feel about engagement? Well, for example, in social media, everything you do, everything you look at is tracked, and based on this like engagement, the relevant content is provided to you. I think maybe you can correct me. Gmail and Office and the bigger players are doing the same, tracking engagement. So if I have a better subject line, or if I have a better copy, or I don't know, if I have somehow can trigger you to open the email better, then they will put it, prioritize it, put it in the inbox, or not into spam. But technically, I might be like pristine. Everything is done correctly. If I have interesting emails or if I am boring emails, this might also impact deliverability based on some.
Yeah, 100%. So, I would definitely advise to, because as I said, the whole domain is the key. So basically, when you're sending from the glockups.com, like outreaches, whatever, when you send some campaigns that obviously have higher risk, do not get engaged with your recipients, then the whole domain on the Google. So Google uses this key, the whole domain, and they give you internal ratio. So that's actually it decreases your deliverability for other subdomains. So I would suggest, as already mentioned, but I suggest definitely make subdomains for different type of emails. And to answer your question, I'm not sure what to add, but yeah, that's kind of true. Engagement is really important. I don't know, because I'm the technical, I'm not glockups, we're technical guys, we're the programmers, and we kind of watch, and on Google there is there is a team of programmers, and sometimes understand what they will do, but I don't have exactly is the engagement right now is the most portion of your score they give you internally or not, but it definitely has an impact, and so it's better to work with segmentation as to segment your list as much as possible, so you're to de-risk seeing an engagement. So basically, you see risky guys, like do something. Try to reach them. I don't know. Try to reach like 3 to 5 times, and then it also depends. And then just remove them from the list for a while, and move on. Add some, more subscribers and work with them. So
it seems like a dedicated job for a email marketing ability expert in every company.
Yeah. If you are not used.
Well, actually, that's good. I was trying to I'm glad you mentioned it. I was thinking to kind of include it in my presentation, but it's true. I think it's true, and we see how many deliverability experts are there, and if there is, on the market, if there are so many deliverability experts, that means that they're needed, right? So, and I think this is, at this point already, it's mandatory to have technical guy in your team who, as in my example, it was 9 years ago, probably 9 years ago, probably it was a bit easier to blast emails rather than today, but it's still, the deliverability could be your main point, right? And if again, the information, it's your source, and and your source of creativity, and technical, it's also creative work. So if you know something, you know how to act, or you make assumption how you should act, to make your work better. So the deliverability at this point is just the same. There should be a guy who reads, who thinks, who know how he would actually act, being as a programmer logically, what he would do on this email server to to block you or to make you spammer. So yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about Apple's new privacy policy, and what we have seen in some bigger customers, that they are some kind of like auto clickers that check for viruses, for example. So basically this like messes up your opens and clicks, and this might also show like false positives in, for example, clock apps. Do you filter them out somehow automatically, or are you also vulnerable to them like I don't know, most?
Well, I think it's well, if again, I'm not sure 100% because there is, it's kind of a lot of rumors again, because it's a magic, like technology, it's a magic. But I think it shouldn't. Well, if I would do something like this, being in Apple, I would definitely won't do it like the way you describe. So I won't give it a chance to impact anyhow on your on your deliverability at all. So
what I thought is we see clicks and opens in some emails. For example, I send out an email, I see that the person has clicked on all the links, but they definitely have not. There is some kind of auto clicker like in the background. Do you also have some kind of algorithm to?
Yeah, because actually it shows like you have opened, but maybe you never opened it. So
and also Apple's privacy, that shows like everyone has opened the email, but they actually have not.
Well, I'm thinking how to try to express. Initially we in our team, we're very skeptical about how accurate any information about was your email opened or clicked, because the technology behind it, it's it's far less than 100% of being accurate. So I would say actually the right way to make sure that it's probably not about open ration clicking, but for me the most correct way to see whether your email at least being delivered, it's looking at your DMARC reports. So there is always amount of, you can see exactly how many emails were delivered. Well, yet it's not about clicking, but anyway, I think I will. I think that probably could be a good subject for my team, and we'll work on to make an article about Apple policies and
can't wait to read it.
So yeah, I think it's a good point, and I kind of don't wanna embarrass myself. So,
all right, that's okay.
Giving assumptions.
Last question from me. As I already talked with Adriana, AI. Do you also use some kind of AI tools to support with deliverability or in the background processes somehow? Or is AI maybe sometimes smarter in getting through the filters?
Well, definitely a few first months we see how, because as I said, right, so I'm talking about deliverability, so we definitely saw how, because the server sees the whole picture, and sometimes it analyzes what you have in the content side as well, like links, whatever. So, and I saw how it made an impact with an AI whenever that boom happened with everybody trying to use like we even that's interesting because that's kind of inside. We have been working for 2 months. We were trying to think how we can implement it inside. So basically, we were trying to give people possibility to test with different subject and body and female generated by AI until all of these policies, especially on Google, applied. So for now, I think it's if you're asking about in terms of content, I don't think it's anyhow affect your the deliverability at this point. So it's just a content. So there is no technical algorithms I would use. At this point, I even think that we had in our platform there is spam words checking, and to be honest, this policy of big email providers it just doesn't work anymore. So they don't care about how spammy. Well, that's fine. You can even try yourself. You can if you're sure that your email is landing into inbox on the Google, you can try put spam, and you will see it will go to inbox. So the content portion of it, they didn't do anything yet to adjust their algorithm for deliverability standpoint.
Okay. Did we have a question from the?
I think Alex can answer it in the chat. I think it needs a bit more explaining.
Okay.
Yes, I think. Do you have something?
No, because we're out of time, actually.
All right. Thank you, Alex. It was really insightful. If anyone has any questions about deliverability or about clock apps, feel free to reach him in the chat or directly. And
thank you guys. Well, I want to just drop one more word. That was first time for me as I said, I really consider myself a shy person. So it was first ever webinar for me, and I hope I was closer to nailing it. Thank you for the opportunity, guys, and feel free to ask me questions. Bye.
Thank you, Alex.
Cool.